Good morning, Hafa Adai. Happy Tuesday. Happy birthday if it happens to be your birthday. Or is it good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you may be watching this from. But I guess that's right. Good morning, BC. Thank you for joining. But I think what I'm going to do this time around, as I'm still kind of prepping, I've got to play the music. I've got to play the music. You know what I'm talking about. If I can find it. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's turn the volume up. And knives are out. I'm ready to chop, dice, fillet, or stew. Oven's on, fryer is hot. I'm gonna get cooking for you. What shall we make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Will we bake, fry, or make soup and let it simmer? Cutting board on the counter and my apron in a knot. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Delicious and tasty food is what I got. What shall we make for dessert? Sweet, tangy, or savory? With a knife and fork or using fingers is the best way to eat. My knives are out. I'm ready to slice, dice, bake, or brew. Oven's on. Fryer is hot. Now let's get cooking for you. Ooh, cutting board on the counter and my apron in a knot. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Delicious and tasty food is what I got. Work on this first. What shall we make for dessert? Sweet, tangy, or savory? With a knife and fork or using fingers is the best way to eat. My knives are out. I'm ready to slice, dice, bake, or brew. Oven's on. Fryer is hot. Now let's get cooking for you. Oh, cutting board on the counter and my apron in a knot. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Delicious and tasty food is what I got. My knives are out. I'm ready to slice, dice, bake, or brew. Oven's on. Fryer is hot. Now let's get cooking for you. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to play some music before we get started, right? For those of you guys that popped in, good morning, Hafa Adai. Thank you for joining. Who do we have? Hey, Sheila. Tornado. Hafa Adai, y'all. Thank you for joining. Because normally when I'm cooking, I would play the music, halfway through the live stream or something like that. So I wanted to do that ahead of time on this live stream. So all right, I'm going to do just a half a cup more. So far, I have 2 cups in the bowl, and we are going to be making waffles, homemade waffles. And I realized that when I decided to do this live stream last night, I didn't double check if I still had enough flour. So I had to go scrounging in my pantry to make sure I did. Hey, Corey. Good morning and Hafa Adai. How's it going? Just getting things started right now, so. All right, so like I said, I have, let's bring you a little closer. What time? It takes you about 3 hours to get here, so I think I might still have some left. But let's bring this down a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so like I said, I have, my phone, my tripod over here is not cooperating. I guess my phone is just too heavy. Hold on. Okay. So like I said, I have 2.5 cups of flour in here. And I'm going to go ahead and add my baking powder. And I'm going to keep it 1-to-1. So it's about 2.5 teaspoons of my baking powder. And then we're going to add some sugar. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I know usually when you're eating waffles, we at least, we eat it with syrup. I'm jumping in the car on my way. All right, see you soon, Sheila. But for this morning, it's going to be a little bit more savory than, so I have a little bit more than half a cup of sugar in there. And then we're just going to throw in just a little bit of salt to bring that sweetness together. And then we'll just give this a quick mix to combine all the dry ingredients. Make sure there's no clumps of baking powder or sugar. Make sure everything's nice and well incorporated before we add the wet ingredients. If you're not new to my channel, you know that I talked about this briefly. I'm making a mess in here already. That the next step that I'm about to do, I didn't find or at least I had it, I just didn't have the right attachments for my mixer. But one of the things whenever you're getting ready to make, homemade waffles, is one of the key things that you'll need, from what I learned, is to separate the eggs for one. So I'm going to go ahead and separate 2 eggs. I hate it when it opens up. Look at how it's opening up from the top. So let me trying to make sure I don't get any yolk in there. But you want to separate the eggs, the yolk from the white. Put that over there. All right, now let's see if I can get this one to crack properly. There we go. Right in the center. Again, separate. I did it last weekend when I made homemade waffles. I accidentally punctured the yolk as I was separating it. And I know there are some hacks, you know, when it comes to separating the egg yolks and whatnot, but I like to do it this way. It makes me feel more like a chef. Come on, separate there. Come on. Give me that part. There we go. But like I said, when I accidentally punctured the egg yolk and I got a little bit of it in there, I just used the eggshell to scoop out some of that egg yolk, and it worked. As I was saying, for those of you guys that are not new to my channel, you guys have heard me say this when I couldn't find my, what do you call that? My hand mixer. I mean, I had it, but I didn't have the right attachments. So this next step I had to do by hand. And I mean, it took a while. I even had, the second time I ended up having to do that, I was like, all right, I had to have the hubby to step in a few moments here and there to take, you know, turn on whisking it. But we're going to just put the egg yolk aside for now. And now we're going to go ahead and, you know what? I forgot one step. Hold on. I need to make sure that I add butter into this. It's practically the same recipe that I use for my pancakes. I just make this one, the batter is a lot runnier. So let's go ahead and melt the butter. All right, now let's do the next step, the fun step. So I'm gonna reach. Probably, hold on, let me attach this first. Now, all right, let's go ahead. Woo. It's a good thing I have a paper towel in there. I initially set it for to soften the butter, but that takes too long. So I just put it in for another 10 seconds to melt. But I also add just a little bit of sugar to this. All right, let's get to mixing. All right, let's turn this up. Vroom, vroom. Vroom. All right, here we go. probably should not have used glass, but I normally use one of my plastic bowls. And you want to keep mixing it until you get those firm peaks in there. All right. And then you don't want to wait too long before adding that. So I need my milk. All right, so like I said, I had about 2.5 cups in there. And before I continue, I need to make sure I turn on my waffle iron and get that heating up. So I already have my dry ingredients nice and mixed together. So now we're going to add the wet. So I got about 2 1/4, maybe almost 2.5 of milk. Can you put this in the fridge? Thank you. And then I'm just going to quickly mix up the egg yolk. But only current subscribers as of September 28th that live. So my book I wrote will be available for sale this week. Woohoo! Congratulations, Sheila. I am going to do a live on Thursday, October 2nd at 8. I will be giving away a free signed copy to one lucky winner. Awesome. I'll make sure that I set that notification as well, Sheila. So now we're going to add that. Now, just like pancake mix, you can add your extract, any flavor extract, honestly. But I like using this one, very fragrant. That's only 1 teaspoon in there. All right, so we want to go ahead and give this a quick mix. We want to make sure this is combined before you add the whipped egg white. And what I learned when you add whipped egg whites to your mix, to your waffle mix, is, and that's what I personally like to look for when I'm eating a waffle, is that slight crispiness on the outside. You don't want to overmix, only because also what I learned whenever you're making anything with flour is overmixing can release, I guess more, especially if you're not using gluten-free flour, I guess, is when it starts to become a little bit, the starchiness, I forgot what I had read, but the more you mix it, I want it to be a little bit runny. Or you want it to be a little bit runny when you're making waffles. I'm having waffles for breakfast, but I'm cheating because I just popped the Kodiak protein waffles in the toaster. Don't over whip. Nay, nay. No, no. Because definitely with your waffle mix, you want it to be runny enough to be poured. When I make this as my pancake mix, I don't mind that it's a little thick because it just makes my pancake rise a little bit more and makes my pancakes thicker. All right, now we're going to go ahead and incorporate the egg white. So we are just going to put that in there. You know what I forgot to add already in here? Doggone it. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the... I forgot to add my butter. It's probably going to mess it up a little bit because of the heat of the... But oh well. We live and we learn. But you don't want to mix. You just want to keep folding in the whipped egg white. And it's okay if you keep seeing the egg white as you pour the batter into the waffle iron. Because again, the egg white is what's going to help give the crispiness to your waffles. And I do have my oven set to warm, so that way as I'm done cooking the waffles, I just pop it in there so it'll still stay warm. I'm cooking waffles first because the other thing that's on this morning's menu other than waffles is I've got breakfast sausage, and I'm also going to make eggs, but I'm going to make it in the waffle iron as well. Aw, thank you, NATO. What's FE? You put FE after that waffle. What does that mean? Well, I'm seeing some flour, so there are some parts, I guess, as I was mixing that I didn't get at the very bottom. So don't want that. All right. Now that we got our batter ready, nope, still don't get it. All right, so on to this next step is we've got our waffle iron, and for mine, it's not all the way up to max, but I do have it up pretty high. And one of the steps you want to make sure you are doing is putting on the coat. You want to make sure you coat it. Fe is the chemical symbol for iron. Ah, shows how bad I am. Thanks, NATO. Thanks. I don't usually put too much, and then I kinda, where to go? usually I have my giant cookie scoop, but it's not, I don't see it, so we are just going to use this. All right. Always pour from the middle. And yes, sometimes I still overfill. All right, so that's one. So maybe about 2 scoops. I didn't fill it up that second time, so about 2 scoops fills my my waffle iron. And I still kind of help get it spread around. You know what? It's okay if I overfill it just a little bit, right? I try to make sure it gets everywhere. When I close it, I usually wait about 10 seconds before I flip it. Simplex esto. Don't be getting all sciencey on us. Exactly. And then I flip it. Alexa, set a timer for 3.5 minutes.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
So yeah, I noticed that when I do have the temperature higher on the waffle iron, I get to cook it for less. And the other step that I'll be doing is, normally I would cook this in a pan with some water and do it that way, but we're just gonna nuke it. We are just gonna nuke it. That's what microwaves are for. You gotta use them. Alright, so while that's cooking, we'll go ahead at least get my sausages ready. And usually all I do is I lay down a paper towel. There's only 3 left in there. And I like using the Vermont. Yes, again, if you're not new to my channel, you know I do have a bit of a sweet tooth. I like to use my waffle iron on leftover noodles. Ooh! Have you done a live on that? Are you being for real, NATO? Alright, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Might as well just cook them all. I do wet the paper towel just a little bit for that steam, and then I pop it in the microwave. I do have one of my microwave covers to go over it. Again, that helps with the steam to help cook the sausages. Smells like sausages. Just tidying it up. The hubby's like, he cleans the kitchen and then I come up behind him and I make a mess of it, so. Ooh, I am hungry. I'm smelling it. I'm smelling that vanilla. True story, it makes a crispy treat. You're going to have to do a video of that, NATO. You're going to have to show me and then tag me on how you use a waffle. I mean, I guess I have seen some videos of people using waffle irons for other than making waffles. So you're going to have to show me how you do that with your noodles. And are you talking about like spaghetti noodles? Alexa, stop. Are you talking about spaghetti noodles or are you talking about like ramen noodles? And I do have a different waffle iron. A long time ago I had bought the one that kind of sits at a slant, and you pull get it straight now, come on. You pour the waffle mix at the very top, and as it's falling into the waffle, that's when it forms the shape. But I actually like this, because as you've seen at the restaurants, I mean at the hotels, and there you go. Look at that. I probably could have put just a tad bit more on first one done. It goes in the oven to make sure it stays hot. And then I usually give this about 10 seconds to make sure it reheats fully, both top and bottom, before I add the next one. Thank you. Dump them in and mash it. I've used ramen and pho. Okay. All right, let's add our next one. So, gotta make sure I save some of that for the next step. Okay, so we know at least 2 full, and then maybe a half. And I probably could have made the batter just that. See how it's just falling out and not exactly pouring out? I probably could have added just a little bit more milk. Alright, so I made sure those were nice and full. Just a tad bit more. So again, usually when I close it, I wait about 10 seconds or so before I flip it. And I'll know when I've overfilled it, other than the obvious that there'll be batter on the side, but you'll hear more sizzling when I close the lid. And there was very minimal sizzling when I closed the lid. All right, and then we flip. And then we set that timer again. Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Starting now. All right, and then for the sausages, I go back in here and I flip them. Still keep it covered. So the first time I ran it about 1.5 minutes, and this time I'm going to do 2 minutes. So again, this morning's breakfast is going to be sweet and savory. Am I making you guys hungry yet? Do I make you hungry? All right. I have to do it again. Let me listen to the other one. I don't remember. I don't remember what it sounded like. So let's listen to this one.
And night out, I'm ready to chop.
No.
Dice, fillet, or stew.
No. I already don't like that. Let's go back to my. This is my favorite one. All right. Put on your dancing shoes.
Knives are out, I'm ready to chop. Dice, fillet, or stew. Oven's on, fryer is hot. I'm gonna get cooking for you. What shall we make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Will we bake, fry, or make soup and let it simmer? Cutting board on the counter and my apron in a knot. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Delicious and tasty food is what I got. What shall we make for dessert? Sweet, tangy, or savory? With a knife and fork or using fingers is the best way to eat. My knives are out. I'm ready to slice, dice, bake, or brew. Oven's on. Fryer is hot. Now let's get cooking for you. Ooh, cutting board on the counter and my apron in a knot. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Delicious and tasty food is what I got. What shall we make for dessert? Sweet, tangy, or savory?
Alexa, stop.
With a knife and fork or using fingers is the best way to eat. My knives are out. I'm ready to slice, dice, bake, or brew. Oven's on. Fryer is hot. Now let's get cooking for you. Oh, cutting board on the counter and my apron in a knot. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Delicious and tasty food is what I got. My knives are out. I'm ready to slice, dice, bake, or brew. Oven's on. Fryer is hot. Now let's get cooking for you.
I don't know how to count down. 8, 7, 6. I was trying to do the countdown of 10, and I was like, I don't know why I did that. I don't know how to count down, apparently. All right, y'all, throw some waffle emojis in the chat if you like waffles. NATO, I know you just threw some emojis in there already. But if you're here, it's okay that you don't want to chat. That's fine. I do appreciate y'all being, hanging out with me. But throw some waffles in that chat if you like waffles. All right, that's 2. Oh, Sheila loves waffles. All right, let me see if I can find the. That's me chat. That's just me chatting from my. Did it go in? Yeah. Let's hear it for waffles. That's right. Oh, guess it would help if I set the timer. Alexa, set timer for 3.5 minutes.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
It's okay if I added an extra 10 seconds in there because I'm still getting some kind of white spots. I've yet to get 100%, and I don't know if it's just because of the waffle iron. This is by Chef Style, this brand. So I don't know the more expensive brand, because I bought this like 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago from HEB. Uh-oh. BC likes pancakes. Is that pancakes or waffles? It looks like pancakes. But swing and a miss. Those are waffles? Are those waffles? But I've yet, since I've been using this, I've yet to get a 100%, coverage to where the entire surface of the waffle has that nice, beautiful golden, even a dark golden color to it. I'll still get, as you saw in the first 2 waffles, that there are still some white patches. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the mix. I don't know if it's the waffle iron. If I'm not leaving it in there long enough. But when I had the temperature a little bit lower than that, I was actually cooking it about 5 minutes. And even then. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the mix. I don't know if it's the waffle iron. It isn't heating. It's very possible. It's very possible. And because I know it can't be me doing it differently in reference to adding where I whip the egg white, because when I used to make it before doing that step of adding the egg white, I still got those, small patch here and there of white. One thing I definitely don't do between my waffle mix and my pancake mix, because when I make my pancake mix, I did a homemade version of buttermilk using vinegar and milk. I don't do that way with this one, because that really, I noticed the very first time I did it that way, and making waffles, it really makes my waffle iron sizzle. It really caught, so I was just like, so I stopped doing it that way. Hey, Grizzly. Good afternoon or good evening. Thank you for joining. How are you? This is waffle number 3 that is in the waffle iron right now. Alexa, stop. Hopefully we don't ever have anybody named Alexa pop into the chat, because they'll be like, what? All right. Like I said, this is waffle number 3. And for those of you guys that do make homemade waffles, do you guys ever add anything into your waffle mix? Look at that. See, if I were to leave it in there longer, you see how it still has some of the white areas in there? Let's check the bottom half. I don't know what happened to the actual tool that comes with this. I haven't found it in a while. See, it's about the same on the other side. All right, let's pop this in the oven. We'll wait about 10 seconds. What is that other emoji you got going on there, Sheila? What is that? A mark? Need some maple syrup? What kind of drink is that, Sheila? What do you call those? Pina coladas? And apparently, the hubby and I have been using this syrup for years. It is our favorite syrup. And apparently neither of these syrups are real. But Mrs. Butterworth is our favorite syrup. But apparently if it doesn't say maple in there, it's not real. I don't know. But this is our number 1 go-to, Mrs. Butterworth. And I'm still going to call it the original name that I grew up calling this next one. But how's it going, Corey? It's supposed to be a mimosa, but it was the closest. I've never tried. I've actually been wanting to try a pina colada. But this Aunt Jemima is our second. It's our backup. Thank you. This is our backup, Aunt Jemima. Did I? Oh. It's like, did I put a... You know, it could also very well be the spray. Because I already know if you don't put the spray in there, it'll stick. Now that I'm thinking about it, it could just be the spray that you're putting in there, and that's why it's not getting that even coat. That makes sense now. Because that's what happens when I coat the pan when I'm making my pancakes. I love cooking my pancakes in butter. So I'll give the pan a coating of butter. And I do notice that when I don't use anything in the pan, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That I do get more of an even coat on the pancake when I flip it. You need to get real maple syrup. Once you try, you will never go back to those others. I think we may have. I don't know, where's the hubby? Hubby, have you ever tried real maple syrup? He's got, his mom and his sister lives in South Carolina, and he did live, you know, in the South and the East Coast here and there. So I believe he said he's tried the real maple syrup. Alexa, set a timer for 3.5 minutes.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
I want to say honestly that we did at one point have real maple syrup. I probably could have waited on cooking the sausages, because the waffles are the ones that take the longest to make. But yes, please, while you're popping in, even if you don't hang out too long on the way out, don't forget to smash that like button, please, and thank you. I know my father-in-law, he's had it. I mean, so I don't know. Babe, where are you? Oh, did you answer me? Have, have you had, I mean, we've had real maple syrup, right? You have? And did you like it? I can't really understand what you're saying, though. When it's more than a yes or a no. He's in the garage. Have you
I
had?
personally do not like real maple syrup. My father, on the other hand, tell me your opinion, Father.
Oh, that's the only syrup.
That's the only
And
syrup.
it's low glycemic.
And it's low glycemic.
Well, that.
It's the only syrup, he says.
Well, that's.
It's real syrup. So that's the key. That's the key. You have to buy a real maple syrup. Just because it says it's maple syrup, check the ingredients. It doesn't mean it is.
Yeah.
And HEB does have HEB brand maple syrup is actual real maple syrup. I learned that.
Sheila says, "What? You don't like real maple syrup?"
I don't like the taste of it.
Because didn't I buy it one time? Because I wanted to try.
You can have different flavored ones, and the actual old-fashioned original maple syrup has that.
Isn't it supposed to be like thick?
Sappier.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't appease me. But my father being from the Northeast, Massachusetts.
Yeah, growing up in the Northeast, I
That's
figured.
That's a staple, so it is. And I was only born there. I didn't grow up there. Yeah, we went up there a lot, but.
So one of the other things that I plan on doing and showing for y'all is that I'm going to be using, I know we talked about it earlier on in the live stream, NATO, again, you're going to have to show me, you know, the different ways you use your waffle iron. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and sorry to keep sidetracking here, I think I remember on one of your live streams, you may have talked about that briefly. But anyways, one of the other things I'll be doing today for y'all, after I'm done, which I have enough batter in here for 2 more. Alexa, stop. Is I'm going to be using my waffle iron to make the eggs. Because, drum roll please, is I plan on making like waffle sandwiches. You know, I'm going to, as you see how thick these waffles are, I plan on taking the waffles, cutting it in half, putting the egg and the sausage, and I know my husband likes cheese sometimes. I don't know if he's going to add it this time, but we're going to make waffle sandwiches. Get some real maple syrup from Vermont. Where do you get your syrup from, Sheila? Is always chiming in at the wrong. Where do you get your syrup from? Yeah, I really think that a lot of these white areas, this one here I think is just because it didn't fill the spot, but I think a lot of these white areas come from when I spray it. Like I said, the times where I forgot to spray it, and especially if I forget to spray the top part of the pan, when I lift it, the waffle isn't at the bottom, it's actually still attached to the top. Shall we test it out? Shall we test it out and see if I don't spray it, if I'll get an even coating? I mean, it's not going to go to waste. It's just going to be a matter of sticking. It's just going to be sticking to the waffle iron. Or better yet, let's see if it works this way. I'm just going to spray the bottom. I won't do the top. All right. I don't know, the last of the batter might not be for a full. Let's maneuver that, get you down that way. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. I got it from my neighbor who is from Vermont. I don't have any now because I am a weight loss journey and I have to cut way back on my sugar. But I thought real maple syrup was good for that if you were trying to cut back on syrup. I meant cut back on sugar. Or even the kinds of sugar. Alexa, set a timer for 3.5 minutes.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
So on, oh no. I definitely overfilled it. You guys can't see it right now, but you'll see it when I flip it. I overfilled it. Okay, I'll show you guys. I overfilled it. Oh! That's what happens when you overfill your waffle iron. I didn't think I overfilled it that much. All right, how many waffles do we have now? We've got 4. Yeah, but I just put sugar-free peanut or nut butter on my waffles. Wait, what? Did you not mean to plug in that other information there, Sheila? But I just... There you go. I was going to say, I didn't think you mean to put that one in there, that information. What? Yeah, I think for sure I have enough in there for one more. And then we will get started on... Good morning, Terry. I'm on my way to my other job, but I'll listen to you until I get there. Thank you. You're missing the beautiful view of my waffles. But you have a beautiful day too. All right. So once I get the last bit of the waffle mix in here. I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping the eggs. I know, because it's gonna be my very first time cooking eggs in a waffle iron, so I don't know. At least from what I've read up, is that you don't want it high like you do when you're cooking your waffles. You want to lower down the temperature. So I am going to have to give that time to cool down a little bit. You can still see it. I just can't chat because I'm going to get... okay, okay. Be careful out there. So, Alexa, stop. So y'all get to see me do it for the first time. I've been wanting to try it, you know, using my waffle mix to waffle iron to make something else in there. All right. See, you can tell I overmixed. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but look at the spacing because I overfilled it. So I coated the bottom, but I didn't coat the top. And where's the waffle? Where's the waffle? Come on. Give me my waffle. Give me my waffle. Okay. So, I think that's, I mean, look at that. So that is the top part of the iron I did not spray, but I still have white patches in there. I mean, it looks like it's more coated than the other side. Definitely more coated than this side. This is the side that was sprayed. So I think that's where that's coming from then. You know, now that I'm looking at my waffles again, I don't know. Maybe my waffle iron isn't as thick, or my waffles isn't as thick as it needs to be to make sandwiches, but we shall see. We shall see. If it's going to work or not. But that's the other reason why you want to make sure you have your catcher at the bottom of your waffle iron, because when you make a mistake like I did and overfill it, it doesn't make a mess on your counter. All right, so this is the last bit of the batter going into the don't. Am I back? Am I still not back? There I am. There I am. Sorry about that, y'all. I didn't realize that I was buffering. But I've got the last waffle in the waffle iron. I'm taking the sausage out of the microwave, and we are going to go ahead and start mixing up the eggs while the last one. Did I start the timer? Did I get distracted? Alexa, start timer for 3 minutes.
Second timer, 3 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, cancel second timer.
You have two timers on this device. A 3-minute, 30-second timer with about 1 minute and 43 seconds left, and a 3-minute timer with about 2 minutes and 56 seconds left. Which one do you want to cancel?
3-minute timer.
3-minute timer canceled.
Thank you. right, so I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up the eggs. Hey Eric, good morning or good afternoon for you. Just whisking up some eggs while the last waffle is cooking in the waffle iron. Alexa, stop. Add just a little bit of milk. Just a little bit. I do normally add some cheese to my egg mix. All right, my last waffle. You see the other side? Yeah. I think my waffle is thick enough to turn it into a sandwich, right? So now we have 6 waffles. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. I'm going to turn it down low. I'm keeping it closer to the minimum temperature. And I'm going to keep it open. Come on over. I've got 2, 4, 6 waffles. Like I said, this is going to be a learning experience for all of us because, like I said, I've never cooked eggs in a waffle iron. So I just added some garlic, my 2 usual or 3 usual spices, or not spices, seasoning. Some onion powder, firepower. And now we're going to add some salt because since I'm not adding cheese, because that's usually where I get some of my salt from, is when I add cheese into the mix. But, so that's about 2 pinches of salt. I am having to give my waffle iron time to cool down a little bit because I don't want it to overcook my eggs so quickly. All right. I'm actually going to use the same scoop that I used for the waffle mix to pour the egg mix in there. Hey, Sunny. Good afternoon. Don't forget to spray the pan again, top and bottom before. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Have you ever cooked eggs in a waffle iron? All right. Like I said, here we go. This is the first time I am cooking eggs in a waffle iron. How's it going, Sunny? Are you out there working? Are you just chillaxing on this Tuesday? All right. Did I coat it enough? Do you think I need to coat it a little bit more? I don't want it to stick, you know? Don't stick. All right. No, I haven't, but I'm thinking about it now. Okay. All right, here we go. Should I start from the middle and then pan out like I do with my waffle mix? Now, from what I read, it says don't overfill it for sure, because the eggs will still rise as it's cooking, just like the waffle mix. So hopefully that's good enough. I'm going to give that about 10 or so seconds. And I don't know if I'm supposed to flip it or not. Start from the middle. Okay. I'm not working, trying to get things done at home, not having much luck. Uh-oh. All right. So let's close that up. I think I'm going to wait a minute because from what I read, because like I said, you've got minimum to max on your waffle iron, and from what I read, you want to have the temperature close to minimum, and you're only going to be cooking it maybe about 2 to 3 minutes. I guess it also depends if you're adding other stuff to the eggs, but I'm going to give it about a minute, and then I'm going to check it, because being that this is a flip one, I don't know if I'm supposed to flip it or not, because I don't think I saw that when I was doing a little bit of reading about it last night, on using your waffle iron. You guys can probably see the little mess I made right here. On one of the second to last waffle, I put just a little bit too much and it overflowed. All right, shall we take a peek? It's been about a minute. I'll give it another 10 seconds before I peek. Because you definitely don't want to flip it if it's still runny. Okay, it's not running, so I'm going to flip it and see what happens. And we'll give it another minute. I made pepperoni pizza chaffles. Last week. They were delicious. Haven't cooked eggs in my waffle for a while. Oh, okay. Do you have this kind of waffle iron? Uh-oh. It's a sizzling. I think it's because I flipped it. And so, oh, you have the mini? And that was one thing I did read, that if you're going to cook eggs in a waffle iron, to use the mini. But I'm using it for my big waffles, so I think when I flipped it, it fell from the bottom, you know, it fell down. I want to buy one of those mini ones. Ready, drum roll. This is the first time I'm cooking eggs in a waffle iron. Ta-da! And it what's really cool is because I didn't fill out, I pretty much only filled up the individual pieces. So I think that's what I'm going to do the next time on this next batch is I'm going to fill it to where it even covers the square part, because look what happens. Hot. Look how cute that is, but look how thin it is as well. I mean, so I don't know if this is better doing it this way to where it doesn't make like one complete waffle, but individual pieces. Look at that. I have a waffle bowl maker now. I got some ideas. Well, make sure you do a live stream. I want to see. Okay. So at least for this next, for the remaining batter, I think what I'm going to do is fill it up just a little bit more. If I can. I don't know if I'll be able to. I might have to crack some more egg. Another egg. All right, I'm going to let it sit. Probably going to need more eggs than that, though, if we're going to be making our waffle sandwiches. So I'm going to go ahead and crack up at least 2 more eggs. And splash of milk. Splash. Nope, still watery. Still runny. Yeah. We'll see how these other two come out. I like to whisk my eggs to the point where I don't really see too much of that stringy. I don't know yet if you guys see that or not whenever you're mixing your eggs. Alright, some garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of salt. All right, let's check that again. Oh. It puffed up enough. Hey Mario, good afternoon, Hafa Adai. It puffed up enough that it started to lift the lid. All right, so the other thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and start prepping the sausage. You guys hear it sizzling? Uh-oh. Maybe we shouldn't overfill it. So that is actually the egg trying to puff up too much. So it was trying to push the lid open, so I had to turn it back over. You guys can kind of see the egg right here. It really looks like a waffle now. Before.
Yeah.
After. Look at that. Look at the big difference when I add just a little bit more. But I'm still going to go ahead and just cut this right here.
Yeah.
Come on, give it to me. And then look at the difference. Ooh, hot. So now I know. I mean, I don't know if there's an in-between. Because look, if I don't put enough in it, it comes out pretty thin. But if I put enough to where I cover even the little squares that you see at the top, this is what happens. It comes out thicker. The middle has filled in compared to these that have the holes in them. So what do you guys think? All right. I think what I'm going to do is adding just a little bit more than I did on the very first batch, but not enough to cover the squares. I think the second way looks great, and I'm pretty sure you've made me. That's good. If I make you hungry watching me cook and prep, then I'm doing a good job, right? All right. So like I said, I've added a little bit more on this third round than I did on the very first round. So this is filling up about halfway. This is filling it up to where I did cover I put a small layer to cover the squares that you're seeing. And then this third batch, I filled it up, but not covering the squares. But just a little bit, just a tad bit more than I did the very first batch. All right, let's cover that up. Let that cook for about a minute as I continue to prep the sausages. And there's our sausages. I love me, speaking of maple, Vermont maple at that. This is Vermont maple breakfast sausage. So all I'm going to do is just cut these in half to make it easier to put into the sandwiches. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So just cutting these in half. Hey Presley, you've met you're at your destination. Okay, thank you Terry. Have a good one. How's it going, Presley? Good afternoon. All right, let me check my eggs. Right now I've got eggs cooking in my waffle iron. Nope, not time to flip it yet. I am so hungry. Cheers. There you are. You're hungry? Hopefully I'm making you hungry. I'm definitely making me hungry. Alright. It's probably going to start sizzling here in a minute too as the egg continues to puff up. I think I waited too long. I waited too long to eat. I've been up for about almost 4 hours now. Yep. That's the eggs trying to say, let me out. I had to turn it back over because if you guys can see, there's a little bit of a space there. Do you not like waffles? You don't like waffles, Presley? right, let's grab, this is the first waffle. And that's the other thing, whenever you guys are cooking waffles, if you're not familiar, whenever you guys put it down on a cooling rack, do not stack them. Because if you stack them, then they are going to become soft and soggy. And we don't want soggy or soft waffles. Or at least I don't. Let me check the eggs. Look how puffy that is. I mean, it goes down when you open it, so I'm going to give that another 30 seconds to a minute. So these are going to be almost like waffle sliders. So I'm going to go ahead and break this apart. So I think they're thick enough. And I'm just going to follow the seam already in the waffle that you see right here. And I'm going to cut that open. Come on, give it to me. Now, I've never done this before. So y'all are witnessing something, like I said, that I've never done before. Cooking eggs in a waffle iron. I'm going to turn this off. Okay. All right. You ready? Feed me. Feed me. All right, babe, you ready to try it? You're gonna try this first. Do you want cheese in it? Darn it, I don't have shredded cheese. No, you don't want cheese in it? Come here then. Do you want a little drizzle of syrup? He's talking to his dad. Bye, love you. Do you want a drizzle of syrup? Let's do it. Huh? All right, let's just do a tiny drizzle of syrup. And then we're going to put in some sausage, breakfast sausage. And then we put the top on. And there we go. We've got our breakfast waffle slider. Look at that. All right, the hubby is going to be the first one to try this. So here you go, hubby.
Why don't you bite it first?
Huh?
You made it.
Because I'm the cook.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I want you to try it first. I want you to try it first.
So
Come on. Don't bite the napkin.
Tell me what's good.
Good? As he walks away. As he walks away and not giving me any.
I tried to give you first bite.
I know, that's okay, it's okay. I'm going to make my own. I'm going to make my own. So, at least to make the waffle sliders, it does work out better whenever you're going to use your waffle iron to cook your eggs. To go ahead and keep it in the different sections like this. Because when you're getting ready to make your sandwiches, it's already in pieces. So let's do that again, shall we? This time it's going to be for me, my sandwich. So again, all I'm doing is just following the seam on the waffle and cutting that in half. Is it still a little bit crunchy is what I'm trying to say? Babe? Or no? It's a little bit? All right, layering the egg. And I'm adding some sausage. First, I'm gonna add just a little bit of syrup. Is it better? I mean, is it good with the syrup? Can you taste it?
Yep.
And then we add some sausage. Now you got to be careful if you are gonna put syrup in this because the waffles still have the holes in it, especially when you cut it in half.
Sipping on some scissors.
See, it already seeped onto the board. All right, so I don't make a mess. Cheers. My waffle slider. Sorry, I was holding it up close to the phone to see if there was any type of crunch, but because it's already been sitting on my board, it's cooled down just a tad, so no crunch. I mean, no crispiness, but mmm. So the cool thing about doing it this way, to make waffle sliders, if you're feeding a lot of people, because one waffle turns into 4 waffle sliders. So you can feed a lot more people because one person doesn't have to take the entire waffle because it becomes a little bit more filling when you add the egg and the sausage. As to what else you can add to your waffle slider, that'll be all up to y'all in reference to if you want to change up the flavors. Like I said, whenever you're cooking your eggs, so whenever I do scrambled eggs, I do add cheese to it. But because I was eating this as a waffle sandwich, I didn't add it that time. So I probably would add just a smidge more syrup. But again, when you're biting into the sausage, because it is a Vermont maple flavored breakfast sausage, it already has a little bit of that sweetness. But in that first bite that I got off of this one, it definitely coming across more as savory because I only put a little bit, a small drizzle of the syrup onto this. It's not overly sweet, despite the breakfast sausage being mixed with the Vermont maple, and I did add a little bit of sugar into the waffle mix, and again adding some of our favorite syrup. I know it's not real syrup, but it's still our favorite. It is not sweet, so it does have more of a savory profile. So, but that's our brunch for today. So if you guys love waffles and if you have a waffle iron, or even if you have one of those really cute mini waffle irons, you can do the same thing with this. You can cook the waffle in it, you can cook the egg in it, and while that's all cooking, you can throw the sausage in the microwave for a few minutes to cook that up if that's what you want. You can always add bacon, or you don't even have to have any sauce or meat. Excuse me. You can build your waffle slider any way you want. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys, Siduus Maasi, for being here, hanging out, listening, watching, and chatting. Thank you guys so much. I always appreciate the love and support that you guys are giving. And I do hope that you guys are going to keep coming back, joining me for my live streams, checking out the long form videos that I've been posting. Majority of them are about gig work, so I'll catch you guys on the next video or live stream. Stay safe if you're out there doing your gig work or W-2s and make that money. And I'll catch you guys later. Adios for now. Yeah, it goes, no, that one over there. Stay safe. Bye, y'all. Happy, what am I supposed to say? Happy Waffle Slider Day. Okay, one more bite. Just one more bite for y'all. Hmm.